We're joined now by retired Air Vice-Marshal Sean Bell. Sean, great to see you as always.
Well,
so firstly, of course, we should say getting a statement of criticism from the Taliban might not be something that angers a former or upsets a former soldier. I mean, with that partly in mind, is there guidance that you get when in the army, when coming back from a tour, when leaving the army or the armed forces more broadly, I should say, in terms of what you do and don't say on this sort of topic?
Well, there's two things. One of the Official Secrets Act, which everybody signs up to, and that's legally binding. This is not part of the Official Secrets Act. This is more about guidance. But wartime experiences are really interesting because I do a lot of work with the Second World War veterans, not many of them left now. Very few of them ever talked about their time on the battlefields, in the air during the war, because it was so horrendous that actually they couldn't find a place in peaceful society to share those experiences. And yet many of them were absolute heroes. And I think the challenge here is that we don't normally hear about what's been happening on the battlefields, except we now hear about this in a book. And that's what's been a bit unfortunate here.
And just talk us through this point. He mentions there, you know, in the age of Apaches and laptops, the specifics of his record are recorded. I mean, talk us through, give us some colour on that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth having some context here. So Harry served in Afghanistan, and our tours overlapped. I did 2 years of my life, 3 tours out there. He served with a great deal of distinction out there. He was in a very, very difficult role on the front line, flying Apaches, providing close air support to our friendly soldiers on the ground. And because it's a high-tech platform, you do a detailed planning before you go, but more importantly, everything is recorded in the cockpit, and you do very detailed debriefs afterwards. Part of that is, did I hit my target? You know, is there any way I could do it better? Do I count the number of casualties? But more importantly, did I put at risk any of our personnel on the ground? And it's all to do with how do you do it better the next time round. Mm-hmm. So it's really fierce professionalism and ruthless. The challenge here, of course, is soldiers, particularly Second World War veterans, they see their colleagues being blown up on the battlefields. That lives with them. Pilots are detached from all that, but they have to live with the consequences of what they see on the screen when they do their debriefs. And part of that leads to PTSD. I think the one thing I would criticise of what Harry's done is just this number 25. It's a grave risk that it gets misrepresented. We live in a world where lots of the younger generation play computer games, war games, and body bags are a sort of badge of honour in some way. I can reassure that none of the military take any pride whatsoever in killing individuals. It is a ruthless game that everyone knows they are human beings, fathers, sons, and husbands, and increasingly females as well. And I think whatever Harry has done in his post-military career, it's not for me to judge, but he did serve this country with pride and courage during his time in Afghanistan.
Sean Bell, as always, thanks so much.